So ask any questions that come up. My name is Greg Whitehead. I'm the sales and marketing guy for YAH Pharmacy out of Indianapolis. It's located on the north side at 465 and Interstate or US 31. And this is Cindy Lane. She's our nurse, she does customer service. She does a lot of different things. And we're here today to talk to you about YAH Pharmacy and as I said, answer any questions that you have. Life Designs will start using Young at Heart the 1st of November, and we've been collecting data and honing in our processes for you to hopefully, and I feel very good about making your lives easier and more happier to interact with the pharmacy. And based on some things that we found out this morning, I think you'll be pretty happy with what we have to offer. That being said, are you familiar with the type of packaging that we're going to be changing you to? The strip packaging? Have you seen that?
Yeah, so I sent out that email and then it's in front of you also.
Sounds dirty.
This? Okay. So some of you are probably familiar with this one. Does that look familiar? Or even a vial, right? Some people, maybe not, might
Most
be on a
of ours
vial.
are
Most
in
are
the
on this.
pack.
Okay. So as of the 1st, we're going to be putting all your routine medications into this type of packaging. And you're like, well, seems different. So the idea is that you'll have morning, afternoon, evening, bedtime. Morning, afternoon, evening, bedtime. Okay? And they'll come in a little roll. I'm going to use your spot. I'll just put my thing. And when they arrive, you'll have something like this at your home. Okay? And each person, there's a place actually where they can put their name. And we're still trying to figure out if we're going to provide you with some type of sticker to put on top. But when you get your new orders or your cycle fill for the next 2 weeks, because this will be a 2-week supply, okay? When you use up the very last med, this one right here, your box will be empty. You'll go to the storage or wherever they're at the time. This will be rolled up. You'll stick that inside, close the lid, and it will be ready to go. It's like the Pez dispensers that spit out the candy. It's the same philosophy, okay? And you just pull out, and they'll all be dated, and there will be a time on there. So if today is the 25th in the afternoon, this is the 25th in the afternoon. Now, people said in the morning, well, how many can you fit in that little package? I gotta make sure that I'm in the... Can you see me okay? Those people that are off-site? Okay. What if somebody's taking more than 4 pills, which can fit, 4 can fit in this little package, then they'll have 2 packages. We've had some people up to 4 packages at that particular time. Okay, so you'd have pack 1 of 1, 2 of 2, 3 of 3, etc. The idea is you have the person's name, it's got the date and the time on there. And the important thing to remember is when you're pulling those out, you pull them out until the time changes. Okay? So if today's 10:25 of 18, I'm taking my afternoons, my evening one should be ready to go. And when the evening one is given, the bedtime med, or whatever time that would be up next, give that one, then the next morning starts. So you just kind of keep pulling, all right? The other thing that we did is, because this is a 2-week supply, Renee has a training sheet. I don't want to steal your thunder, but if there is a change from the doctor, we're going to request that if they change this orange Skittle from a 5 milligram to a 10, we're going to see if the doctor will allow us to change it on the next cycle fill date rather than sending you a bridge supply. In other words, another one of these to coincide because it could get a little messy. So the idea is to say, hey doc, would it be okay if we change to the next cycle fill? Sure. More than likely they'll allow us to do that because it's only 2 weeks. Now, if it is you just got your cycle and went to the doctor and he changed it, we are requesting that you isolate that pill down into the lower left-hand corner. And we did a little test, but you can actually take a stapler, staple the top and the side, and it will hold it down in that corner. Okay, and then we will send you that bridge supply, whatever the change is, if it's an increase, a decrease, or if it's a total change, a DC.
And then also, we made copies so that you guys can have these in your homes, but it's like what we call an at a glance. It'll give you kind of basic instructions of what to do with the different types of med changes, so you'll know. So we don't expect you to remember that. You'll have this as a reference.
Right.
So whether it's an add-on or discontinuation or whatever it is, you'll have this to refer to, okay?
On these, there is a method to actually tearing them off and opening them. Each one on the left-hand lower side, you'll see a little perforation. I could pass them around. But the idea is that you start it by just kind of making a little, see how it's torn there a little bit? And then you pull straight out, okay? I did this morning, it was 100 over 100 on this, but if you just kind of pull, see how it's starting to kind of rip? There it goes. It'll rip the next packet, and then you could have the potential of a, did you get it? You eat it. You caught it, you eat it.
They're
It's
fresh Skittles.
Right. That's what can happen if you're not careful. So you grab from the bottom left and you tear. Okay, get it started and then pull straight out. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. I was going to tell you. When we talked about discontinued, change of meds, etc. When you get any type of change or discontinue, please call the pharmacy. Okay? So that way we know that we can change these, and I think there's a form for that.
Medical appointment form. What's your first box that we do that we check off that you did it? We call the pharmacy to make sure they got the order, to discuss with them insurance, when's it going to be delivered. So it's very important, especially with this pharmacy, because we're doing a 2-week cycle fill. I've also made a change where there's a box now that says, start upon completion of current med supply less than 2 weeks, unless this box is checked. That's allowing the doctor to say, we'll change this order at the next cycle fill. But again, you have to communicate that with the pharmacy so they know what did the doctor decide at the appointment. So it's very important. Communication, as you hear as we go through today, we're going to say communication a lot because it's very, very important, because this pharmacy is very customer specific, and that's a reason that we chose them, is because communication can be very specific, and we can problem solve and be very proactive. We don't have to fit into a box that the pharmacy says, here's the services, hope you fit in our box. So our part in communication is just as important. So
Yeah, we're actually creating reports and some programs specifically for Life Designs based on the meeting that we had a few months back. It was called our Customer Needs Analysis, where we had a lady come in. We had our management and Life Designs management, and she had Post-its, or not Post-its, but large pieces of paper on the wall, and we problem solved and asked questions and got answers and things, and that's how we customized your service. Because as Renee said, one size doesn't fit all. We're not going to treat you exactly like we treat the other developmentally disabled company that we service up in Fort Wayne or South Bend or Evansville or wherever it may be. You're going to be different. Your wants and needs are going to be different. But as Renee also said, communication is key. Never ever feel afraid to call the pharmacy. We'll provide you with policy and procedure manuals right there.
So it'll be coming electronically.
Yep. And it will have pretty much all the information in there that you'll need. For example, what do I do for a stat order? Well, you can go right in that book and there's a glossary and it says stat orders and it will tell you exactly where to look. And it says the purpose of a stat order and it will explain that. Now, as I explain this, you're going to be like, well, we're not that dumb. Trust me, if you follow the process, you will get the desired outcome that you want. So if you, step 1, put the piece of paper in the fax machine and fax it to this number. Step 2, go to the phone and dial this number, and you're thinking right off the bat, oh boy, the nerd alert, right? But if you leave a step out, it's going to cause pain. We don't like pain. Your customer's not going to get their med, it's not going to come correctly. As a matter of fact, the way that we get our orders is when you fax it in, it's all electronic. So it goes to our computer system. And for example, if I fax in an order for my customer Cindy, and it's a stat, and it goes into our system, there might be 100 items in that queue, okay? And our people are checking them off. 1, got that one done. 2, and you're still sitting down there at 98 now, right? Okay? If we don't know that it's a stat, we're not going to triage that order and move it up to number 3. It's going to stay right down there, and 5 hours later, you're going to be like, where is my stat? You know, this is important. I need this met for this person. You call the pharmacy, hey, I faxed this in. Well, we didn't get a phone call because we didn't know. Okay? So, communicate. Our customer service folks are very good. They've been in the business for a long time. Kind of drives me nuts a little bit, but when I go out and visit customers, they're like, oh, Alex this, and Eula that, and Cindy this. I mean, it's great to hear because they do such a great job, and some people have a go-to person. Oh, I just want to talk to Sherry, or I just want to talk to Alex. Feel confident that you can talk to anybody in the pharmacy as far as pharmacists, customer service, anybody in billing, and all this is going to be in your policy and procedure manual. You'll have numbers to call, emails to email if you want to, okay? And you will get the love that you deserve and we provide to all of our other customers.
So I'm going to show this page. So this page, we want everybody to print this out. So we want to make sure you have this because we have specific people assigned to Life Designs. So if you need to talk to medical records, it's Steven. If you need to talk to our customer service, it happens to be Sherry. So, you know, it'll tell you what particular person you can talk to so that at Life Designs, we're all talking to the same person. So hopefully it'll be more continuity of everything. Okay, so this page will be very important. If you don't print out anything else that I send you electronically, make sure you print this out and I'll make copies and I'll probably be posting them too as I go to your sites, okay? Okay?
Yeah, because if you have a question about an LOA, leave of absence, what do I do there? Just call customer service or refer to your book.
Or look at our policy.
Yeah, there's form in there for that. There's form just for about anything that you need. And this was all created many, many years ago. We've been around for 10 years. Many of us that work at Young at Heart have come from other pharmacies. So, I mean, altogether we have well over 100 years of experience. It's just so happened that the owner of Young at Heart started this company for companies like Life Design. We currently service 2 nursing homes, a couple assisted living, but 80% of our business model is developmentally disabled group home, waiver, and supported living. So we've figured out, you know, the billing part of it, some of the aches and pains that you currently have, like your refills. We're going to cycle fill all your bulks and creams and liquids. So what does that mean for you? It doesn't mean that you're going to go to the cabinet and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I don't have enough left. I'll have to call the pharmacy and have them stat, milk a mag. that's not a very good thing. Because Milkamag is cheap, and it costs maybe $45 or $50 to get something statted to you. So instead of you having to remember that, we're going to automatically send it every month. Okay? Now people are probably thinking in their head, well, what if this person doesn't take it this day, or I get too much? If you get too much on hand, or you think you're getting too much on hand, we have a form
In here.
in there. It's a suspension. You can suspend it. In other words, you can suspend it for a month, 2 months, or permanently suspend it. And you can call us and say, hey, I need it. Okay? So that's going to be a little bit different, that you don't have to worry about reordering those types of meds. Did you need something? Do you have something?
Oh, I just actually had a thing that popped in my head. So, we're trying to go more electronically. What if we want to use that form and send it in an email?
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so we could email it to
Customer care.
customer care
YAH.
would still go. So what if we didn't have access to the fax or something? Is there a way to email things about order changes? Or is fax or e-scripts the primary way?
As far as HIPAA compliant, we have some people that text, some people that email. They'll take a picture of their thing and then email it.
Right. Because that's what I was wanting. So
Yeah.
say they go on that a medical appointment and they have the medical appointment record and they want to send it to you, or not you, but the pharmacy, and they're not able to get to the office and fax it to you because
Sure.
we're all over the community. They can take a picture of it, send it to themselves in an email, and then email it to
The customer care is.
customer care. Okay, so customer care can triage our orders too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
perfect. Well, I've not
I
heard.
can give you another one. There's
Okay.
a fax
Fax to
to mail at yahrx.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I'll-
because that would be handy.
And
So-
that goes direct, that will then directly go into our DocuTrack.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I take a picture of you, I like your shirt, and I want to email that to the owner of our company, I would just hit the little envelope thing on my iPhone. That's what it is. I don't know what it is on Android, but click on that. It'll give you the options to email, text, or copy, or save, or whatever. Hit that, and if you've got the fax to mail or our customer service saved in your phone, and you type in customer, it should pop up right away. Hit that, and it'll put it in as an attachment. And our system is HIPAA compliant, so it's a private server, and it will go right there, and we'll get it and start doing our work. Okay.
Any questions so far?
So on the who to call list, again, you'll have key contacts. You'll also have our hours of operation, which are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, we're open from 8 until about noon to 1. And many of you hopefully aren't freaking out going, well, they're not 24 hours, what are we going to do after hours? Well, because of the way that we operate our business, we don't have a lot of people calling in after hours. And as a matter of fact, the people that do call in after hours would be our skilled nursing patients, because they're getting admissions at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, right? But I'll tell you, out of all the developmentally disabled companies that we service, which isn't, I mean, that's quite a bit, we rarely get any phone calls. And it's because we do the pick, the pack, and the ship correctly based on the information that you're providing to us. We really don't have any issues. I said this morning. We've got a customer up in Indianapolis called New Hope of Indiana. It's a large group that supplies services to well over 200 people. And as part of our promise to be a good company and listening to the customer, we set up quarterly meetings with management. And we sit down and we have these conversations to say how things going, is there anything that we can do to improve, and they, provide feedback. As of late, I'd say in the last year and a half, 2 years, we have these meetings that are very short, they're very quick, and it usually has the word love in it. And I'm being serious. Our general manager went to New Hope, their meeting, and sent us the whole Young at Heart team an email and said, no issues to report. They absolutely love us, and there was some other stuff in there. That's the kind of relationship we want to have. We don't want to have the meetings that we have to show up and get our butt chewed because the delivery was late or this was packed wrong or whatever, right? That doesn't make for a good relationship. And it makes it harder on everybody. Okay? We want those meetings to be productive and to come up with new ways and ideas to better our service, to be a better partner. Okay? So, with that being said, hours of operation. After hours, we utilize our current customer service team that you will talk to during the day. They take shifts and taking on call. So Ben takes on call, Monday, and then Alex takes it Tuesday, and it rotates. Okay, so after 5 o'clock, if you need something, the voicemail clicks over. It says if you need immediate attention, press this number. If you do have to leave a voicemail, you will get a return call back. Our expectation is less than 30 minutes. Okay? You'll get a phone call back from one of our customer service people that are working remotely. That means that they're home, or if they're in a hotel, I don't know. They can log into our server remotely and pull up Life Designs. They can pull up the Cindy patient, and they have everything right there. If you do need something, we have a couple different options for you. We can have a pharmacist come in and fill it and then have our courier company deliver it, or they will talk you through it and say, is this truly a stat, or is it something that could wait until in the morning or your next delivery? Okay, communicate. Absolutely not. No, I need this tonight. I have to have it. They just went to the ER and the doctor prescribed an antibiotic, and I've got to have it. Okay, so let's talk about that. I totally understand where you're coming from. How about I call the 24-hour CVS down in Bloomington, which is close to you. I'll tell them to fill it. We'll pay for it. Would you mind picking it up on your way home? Really? I can do that? Yeah. Because as caregivers, you know that when somebody's sick, you want to get them taken care of right away. We'll get you the stat from Indianapolis in less than 4 hours, but if you have the opportunity to get it in 30 minutes, it's up to you. Totally up to you. You make that call. Okay? So that's kind of how that after hours on call works. In that sheet, or on that sheet, we are closed some holidays. I think 3 or 4, just for the day. But otherwise, feel confident that we're available to you 365 days, 7 days a week, and we'll take care of you. Okay?
Yes, I did reference checks. I have known Greg for a few years, so I heard about Young at Heart 8 years ago, periodically talk, and I don't know how, I think Russ had seen you guys at a convention or something,
yeah.
And he came back and said, I've heard about this pharmacy, you may want to look them out. I said, I know about that pharmacy, but we're not really looking for switching pharmacies, but we went ahead and met with them out of courtesy
Which I
to the
appreciate.
CEO and to Greg. I was like, sure, we'll meet with them, but I wasn't planning on making any changes. But we were very impressed at the meeting and their customer service base, some of the problems that we'll be able to change and make it easier on you guys. And then I did reference checks because I wasn't just going to take somebody's pitch, hey, we're the best thing since sliced bread. So I did reference checks. And the customers that I've talked to, as far as company, like agencies like us, they had nothing but great things to say, and had been with the company. I think one of them I talked to had been with you guys almost 8.
It would have been New Hope probably.
Yeah, it wasn't just yesterday. It was enough time to know if it was going to be a good relationship or a bad relationship.
Yeah.
So we did do reference checks, and I really do feel like customer service and also agency specific. We're not going to have to fit into a box anymore necessarily. So, yeah.
We're we're actually going to be taking some things away, standard things that you currently do now, that is a huge time waster that you won't have to do, and we can talk about those things. But I think it's just important to realize who we are as a company, what we can do for you, and the packaging that you're going to be switching to here in a couple weeks. For those that are in group home, this is what your storage will look like. It's a little cabinet that will hold these little boxes, one for each person. In the event that somebody's on a lot of meds, they may have 2 of these, maybe even 3. So think about that for a minute. So if it's a 2-week supply, they've got 3 of these, you're going to have box 1, 2, and 3. After you're done with box 1, that goes empty in the back, you pick out box 2, and so on, correct? Most people should just have 1 because it will hold up quite a few. And also, and again, the strip packaging is only for routine meds only, not for what?
Controlled substance.
Okay, what else?
PRN.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody said liquids too, but I haven't tried, we don't have a machine to put liquids in there yet. Yes, correct. So controlled medications will come like this, and it will come with a form, a controlled count sheet with it, so that you can count. PRNs will come this way, and it'll have a label at the top. And in the event that you need to reorder, which it will tell you that window to reorder, don't wait till you get to day number 2. Give us a little time. Although we're pretty quick to react, it's nice to have a little bit of cushion in case we need to get a refill request or a prior authorization, just kind of in the event. So you peel off that little label, and we have a form that you can stick it on there, okay? And you peel that off and you fax it to the pharmacy, and we're ready to go. Now, with routine meds, we're going to handle all of your refill requests for you. Okay, so we're going to start contacting the doctor based on what our system is telling us how many refills are left. When they get down to that last refill, we're going to start communicating with the doctor via fax, and we've got a process. Fax again, then a phone call, then a phone call. This starts about 30 days prior to that script running out. And very, very rarely will we call the caregivers or the company and say, hey, we need your help. Dr. Smith is not giving us the refill request. Can you get it for us? But we'll handle those for you. So hopefully you should never run out of anything. Now, it will be up to you to remember on the PRNs not to get too low because we want to make sure that we take care of you. And then also question? In this little box up here, there is a NARC box, which will hold your controlled medication. So it's a double lock. And like I said, these will go out into the group homes. These, we're checking, I think every person that's going to be on our system will have one of these. Yes, sir. Ma'am. Sorry.
That's good. So only that box is going into the group homes.
So currently we have 9 available through the pharmacy. Our goal is that all 24-hour settings will have these boxes, but currently they have 9 in stock for us.
So we have to continue to use the other boxes we're using.
Right, until we get everybody, so the 24-hour settings, our goal is that everybody will have a box like this and all our systems will be the same. Yep.
Yeah, we'll work on that quickly. It's not something we're going to sit on for a year. We're getting close to starting. We want to get up and started, flush out any bugs that may be there. But again, we do a lot of legwork up front so that we minimize the amount of issues or concerns when we start. I go back to our satisfied customers. When we transitioned our last one, feedback that we got was it didn't even feel like we changed pharmacies. I want Life Designs to feel that way too. I may have said it once, I'll say it again. Are we perfect? No, but where we will shine is making it right, or fixing, or doing what we need to do to make sure that we don't make you work harder. Okay.
Oh, how many keys do you have? All right, well, can you give us 3 keys, or we have a key that goes, I like to have a key on my key ring in case things go crazy, so.
Yeah,
Plus-
we can talk about that. Right now, we typically provide, one set is at the pharmacy. You could have a backup set here, and then you would have one set there, but I mean, it's whatever you need, right?
Yeah, I work mainly weekends, you know, the office will always be closed, so,
Uh-huh.
and I get into the cabinet 4 times a day, 3 straight days, you know, I like to get on my key ring. We have a giant thing that we keep there so no one will accidentally take it home, which is good, but I don't want to get the giant thing out because it makes my arm sore and stuff.
Well, the reason why we don't have like everybody has a key, which you're higher up as far
Sure.
as a supervisor in the
Sure.
home, but because we have to keep the meds secured.
Oh, yeah, I don't want a lot, you know, I just
Right,
want.
yeah. So we'll talk about that as an agency.
Oh, sure,
like,
sure.
You know, how many keys do we typically have? Where will the backup key be when everybody's lost all their other keys?
Sure.
You know, those sort of things.
Yeah.
But you try to minimize
Oh,
how
yeah.
many keys you
Yeah.
have, so.
Yeah, it's just being careful. Nowadays, cars, I still have a key for my car, but some of these, like Cindy's car, you basically have a little something in your pocket, you press a button,
Sure.
you get close to the car. But if I were to set the keys down in there and actually shut this,
Yeah,
I'd
see,
be out of
that's,
luck. So
sure.
you gotta be careful, but we'll get you backups.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
So,
Just, you try to eliminate as many of those errors, because, sometimes you're tired and you really could lock.
yeah, well, here's another
So-
thing too, is if there's something under here and that key's under there and you go like that, it could bend
Sure.
the key. Who knows? But we'll be there for you.
Sure.
We'll be there for you.
Do you want us to still lock that in a closet, that box itself? So it'd be triple lock, so.
So our policy says all meds need to be under 1 lock, the narcotics are under 2. So if this box is locked, your meds are secured. This doesn't have to be behind another lock. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
And we have a client that potentially would pick that up to play with it, maybe once, I might lock it, I'll see if it fits in our closet, that probably won't be a problem, will it? I mean, being in the closet.
No,
No.
no.
And
You can still
so-
put it in the closet or in the office, wherever you have it.
And I don't think it would be a problem. I'd have to double check it, but you could actually, if you wanted to mount it, like on a cabinet top, you could drill a hole in there, mount it with some type of washer, so it wouldn't come up. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
we'd
not
have a
that
problem. I
big.
mean, we figure that out for you too.
Yeah, it's not that, I think if it fits in our closet, we'll just
Yeah.
lock, like we always do.
Sure.
And
Okay.
he'll actually pick up benches and, it's just stuff, yeah,
Yeah,
so.
no, I get it. When you receive new orders from us, you will actually get a MAR with it, okay? Did we have a sample of that?
No, I don't have a sample, but-
So it's a temporary
It's a temporary
MAR
MAR.
that will actually have all the drug information on there, so you won't have to write anything on that, okay? So I think right now you're used to taking a blank one and handwriting what that new med is.
Right, so you guys currently transcribe new orders. With new orders, it's gonna come printed from the pharmacy with a MAR, and you're going to then put the printed MAR to update your record with your current MAR, and then your record is updated. You just still need to do the arrows that say, hey, something exciting is getting ready to happen, here's the start, and stop if it's gonna stop. And discontinue any old orders, the traditional way with the yellow highlighting and dating it. But as far as having to transcribe new orders, Cipro 500 milligrams, give 1 tab 2 times a day, you won't have to do that part of it, which I always kind of made me nervous, especially with those prednisone orders. I always hate those prednisone orders that change every day for 6 days. So I think that'll make it easier to get our MARs correct and not have transcribing errors. It won't happen. So I think that's a good thing. Yay, no more transcribing.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, how's the, I know, so we'll have a sheet to count the controlled substance. Do you want us to keep counting all the meds?
So with that said, another lovely thing that we are not going to have to do, we're still going to have what's going to be called a verification sheet, but there's not going to be counting of all the medications, because how would you count them?
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be, you'd hate me forever, right?
Sure.
Yeah, okay?
Well,
Right, yeah.
let me piggyback by saying, we didn't talk about this in the morning, so on the videotape, this will be a good thing. So this is actually, when we get the information into our pharmacy, it's checked, or our data entry team puts it in, then it gets verified by a pharmacist, our PH1, then it gets transmitted back to our PACMed department, who verifies it, and the machine, it's a big cube, probably about the size of these things here, but it's wide. It's got a bunch of meds in it, and you can hear them going ding, 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 and the paper comes through, it gets printed, and it comes out a thing like this into a holding bucket, and, or actually, yes, and then they connect it to the wheel, and the wheel winds it all up, and it's this giant wheel. They take this over to the Pac Vision machine. This is cool, because prior to that, it was all visual checking, right? So I look, and I go, okay, this is week 1. Okay, and we still do this too. Week 1 is here, or today, and then they kind of bend it in a way that they can, you know, go side by side to check visually to see if something's wrong. So, Pac Vision machine, turn it on, it starts vibrating like this, and it pulls it through. And it takes a picture of every single one of these packages. Okay, so it sees broken, shape, color, size, anything's wrong with it, it'll send it to a program, and the pharmacist actually looks at it and has to accept or reject it. Some of these will get turned on their side. We've had them broken, missing. Okay, so it's another check to make sure you're getting the right drug at the right time, the right route, the right dose, you know, all those rights. So that's how that's checked. So when it comes to you, it should be 100%. Okay? Now, are we telling you to trust that it's perfect? No. I mean, you still need to do your work, right? Do your job. In other words, you want to check the MAR. When you pull this out, it says Charles Brown, and it says Red Skittle, RX number, Dr. Alonzo Robert, omeprazole 20 milligram, 1 capsule by mouth, and it tells you the color, the shape, or the markings on it. Guess what? Our medical record actually, and this is a smaller size, I should have brought an
Oh, that was
actual
me,
one.
I printed it.
Yeah.
It's a regular size of paper.
Yeah, so it's this, okay? But here, you'll have omeprazole, the description and all the other things, but it will actually have a colored picture of the pill on it.
Wow.
So for me, not being a pharmacist, if I say, okay, I'm gonna patch you this med, okay? And I look at it, and if I was a not so good employee, I'd be like, okay, that's red, there you go, buddy. Okay, who's next, right? But, so that's good, right? Because it's gonna have pills, tablets, ointments, creams, it's gonna have the pictures of that stuff on it. So if you visually look, you're doing pretty darn good. But actually reading it and saying, okay, that's red, that's a picture, and then, you know, kind of comparing. And this, obviously, I'm going super slow and I'm being funny. At least I think I'm being funny. But you know what I mean? So your medical records will actually have the pictures of the pills on them.
So back to what we get rid of, based on the new MAR. So the new MAR has pictures for identification. You had asked about counting and inventories. We're going to do more of a sheet that just says that the midnight person or that one regular person goes to the box, visually sees that the meds had been given. So the 8 a.m.s are gone, the 12s are gone, the 2s are gone, the 4s and the 8 p.m.s are gone. The next day's meds are sticking out. So that person's just visually saying, it appears that the meds were given, okay? Because they're gone and the right one is sticking out, okay? So that's what we're gonna do as far as verification. Instead of counting everything to catch med errors, we're just gonna look. So that's gonna be easier, right? Whoever's my midnight count people should hug me later, hug Greg.
I'll take one.
You'll take one. Also, on the MAR, on that SIG line that we practice in class where the person on valproic acid has diplopia, peripheral edema, mood changes, that's all that jargon, right? So because it has jargon, what else do we have that we have to look at for side effects? A whole another thing, the side effects tracking sheet, we're getting rid of that. Do you know why? This MAR is going to list, instead of all the jargon, it's going to be in your normal terminology. So instead of diplopia, it will say
Diarrhea?
double vision.
Oh. Yeah.
So I now will know not to look for diarrhea, but I'll know to look for double vision. So I rewrote the policy to say when you sign the MAR, it also means you have reviewed the side effects, that you know what they are, you've reviewed them with the customer. So no more updating and documenting and more paperwork. So we're getting rid of more paperwork because of our new pharmacy. So yay.
I love you, Renee.
Some of our facilities, after they're done tearing these off, we'll put them in a little
I
bucket.
love you too, PJ.
So I mean,
could,
again,
yeah.
it's an option, and people can go back and look and see. But, you know, the system at this particular juncture is only as good as, you know, the people doing it. So I could actually say, what's your name?
Trevor.
Trevor? All right. I gave Trevor's med.
No, you didn't.
I know. Eventually, the time will come where we'll all be videotaped and everything else. But for right now, I mean, this is a great way to get through your med pass quicker, simpler, safer, and you can kind of customize it. You can put these in a little bucket, and at the end of the day, you can throw them in your HIPAA compliant shredder, or you know, whatever you want to do. So
Yeah, we don't have one at the house. Oh, do you want us to keep marking that out, or how do you want to handle it?
So for HIPAA compliance, we still don't want to put that necessarily in the trash, I
Sure.
would guess.
Right, because it'll
So
have
it
it'll
has
have
all
the
their
consumer's
information.
name on it.
So a lot of the homes do have shred boxes, so you could put them in that box, but if you do put them in the trash, you will have to mark out that information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been marking it out and cutting it up with scissors.
Yeah,
I don't,
so-
do you want to do that? It doesn't matter, or what is the shred box to bring into you?
Well, yeah, because in
Yeah.
that hallway, we have those big dumpster things.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
big, and you would just need to put them in there, so, but just one way or the other, you need to still protect their health information.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
one of the other things you could do, just as a side note, I know that there's Target and Walmart and all those sell the little shredders they can put right on
Yeah.
top of your trash can. They're like 10 or 15 bucks. That might
Sure.
be an option too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a low-cost expense
Sure.
to really get rid of something that.
Right away,
Yeah,
yeah.
but anyway.
Okay, the nurse in me is coming out right now.
Uh-oh.
So I just want to make sure too that you know, like when you're going to be giving your meds, and you all know this, right? Always compare it to the MAR,
Oh, yeah.
okay? Very important, do not get so comfortable, yeah, I was going to say that, with, okay, 8 o'clock meds, okay, and just open them and giving them, because if there's a med change, and if you're not comparing it to your MAR, you're not going to know. Okay, you might know this resident or consumer, whatever you want to call them, you know, for a long time, and you think you know all their meds, but if you weren't, say you were off for a few days and you didn't know they went to the doctor for something, you know, so always important to always do it with your MAR.
Because no matter the packaging, this is just another way meds are being packaged. No matter the packaging, you have to look at that MAR, and if things don't match, you stop and you clarify before giving, but you have to use the MAR. I'm going to tell you, probably over 75% of our med errors are preventable, because people will say to me, you know what I could have done differently to not make this med error? I'm like, what? I probably should have done the 6 rights 3 times. Probably so. That's why I preach it once a week in my class. Use the MAR, do the 6 rights 3 times. And even with this, even though it's packaged differently, you can do the 6 rights before you tear it away from the box, the 6 rights again, the 6 rights again. So you're just going to do them 3 times still, even though it's going to be run right after the other. It really will prevent the med errors. So use the MAR.
I didn't do that.
Oh no, I don't think you actually opened them. You tore them off,
No,
but
you
you
tore them
didn't
off, but you
open
didn't
them.
show them.
Oh, how to open. Okay, so again, I showed you if you take the lower left and just kind of make a little tear and pull straight off, that's how that comes. So in order to open them, it's the upper right hand over here, it's not over here. You take, and we can pass those around, but you just grab and twist, and it opens just like that, okay? We don't recommend,
Sure.
there we go, right? Or scissors, I mean, that's
Yeah, you can open
fine.
those.
You can do scissors.
Sorry, I was just see if they ripped other places. Sorry.
I mean, I think it
They
can.
do. I just was curious.
I think it can go from that side, but we, over here on this.
Yeah, and we've been writing on the back of the packages, the date. We're not doing that anymore, right? Okay.
You won't
Yeah, I
have
didn't
to-
think you have to.
Yeah, if you look at the package itself, maybe give them a look at
Yeah.
it. It actually has, it'll have the date and the time
Thanks a
on
lot.
there.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
probably for you. So you just drop the whole thing?
I
Oh, look
didn't,
at,
I didn't drop anything out of it.
Okay, but say you went down and
yeah,
Right, so Greg will probably explain if they drop a pill. So you guys would want to know if you by chance drop a pill, what do you do?
I can't talk.
okay, here, you just did, okay, so this will be rolled up, right?
Sorry.
So say this, the package, you tore it off, but you dropped a pill, you want to go to the very end of your roll, so you're going to have to take it out of your container, go to the back of it, and take that package that has the pill in there, you're going to take that last one, and then you're going to call and notify the pharmacy so we can send you a replacement.
Okay.
Okay? So you always take it off the back, don't take it off the next day. Okay, take it off the back.
just destruct the whole package, you screw
You-
up on it, reuse it.
Well,
You can reuse that whole one, yeah. And
Yeah.
we'll just repackage that, whatever's in that time frame.
Yeah, we'll send you another supply, just a package.
Good question.
Well, things happen.
But you can't reload it yourself into the roller, that won't work.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
you actually will roll it back
Oh,
up
okay.
and stick it back in there.
Okay,
But then you'll call the pharmacy and say, hey, we had somebody spit it out and I used the last packet.
Sure.
I need a replacement, we'll send you a replacement. And what you'll do is when that comes, I've kind of migrated everything to the front, I'm sorry, is you'll get it and you'll take a piece of tape and you'll just tape it on there.
To the back, to the last.
the last one.
Yeah, and in the event that you get crazy and you do tear one off and it rips in, just take some tape and tape it up, okay? That'll work. And then did we talk about isolating the pill and stapling? Did we talk about
at the
that?
beginning,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
yeah.
okay, good. So I'll talk about that. Any questions so far?
Guys bother me. They're bothering me with their.
Hey, am I gonna have to bring you up front?
LOA meds.
Oh, yeah, so.
Yeah, it's just her, isn't it?
We, in our little booklets that you'll get electronically, it talks about your stats, your discontinued meds, those types of things, but there's a section in there on LOA meds. So let's say, for example, I know that Cindy is going to be off for 2 weeks. She's going out of town with her family, and that 2 weeks, the cycle lies right in the middle of that 2 weeks. Call us, let us know. We'll pack up another week so that they can take this plus the next week, and that will keep them on cycle, okay? And then there'll also be, some flyers, et cetera, on how to educate the families to, do this. If they are in a workshop, we'll have workshop meds, and then we'll have stuff for at home. So for example, if they're at workshop on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 2, then those 11 to 2 meds will be at workshop and they won't be in here.
And that's why I sent out those emails, like who needs workshop meds, so they could be prepared and pack them accordingly for November. So with this now, our old LOA med system, we had to put them on all the envelopes. It's already done for us. So this is gonna save a lot of time and effort. They're already packed for us. You select what you need, you give them a copy of the MAR, and then your meds are already ready for their LOA. So that'll save you guys some time and pain and agony, so.
And I'm sending you an email because I know the email you were talking about for like, when they were at day programming. I had one that just started, so.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna tell you who that is, so that we can, do we still have time?
Lori was wanting to know who needed workshop meds, so I don't know where you guys are in the packing process. So she said she just had somebody that started.
Yeah, if you could send us right away,
Yeah.
we'll get it into the system.
I'll send it to you right now, Renee, and then you can forward it.
Okay,
Okay, yes?
Back to the refill, or the pharmacy request. We were told from IU Health that they no longer accept from the pharmacy request, that we as team managers or staff, that they have to take it from us and not pharmacy.
and one of our solutions that we're trying right now is they're going to send us also a refill report that I will be able to send out to the teams, letting you know at least, here's who the pharmacy needs refills from. So at least you can be proactive and get on the phone. But Aaron said it is a pain in the patukas,
Yeah,
how they're doing
sometimes it's
it.
40 minutes
Yes.
on the phone.
So I don't know if that's something that, so our IU Health, which owns all, I believe, all hospitals in Indiana now, in the last month or two will not, at least from Williams Brothers, accept the refill request
I think it's a Williams
communication.
Brothers problem.
Okay,
No,
okay.
see, you got it, didn't you?
Is it the
Yeah.
call or they won't accept any?
Like a fax or something like,
Email.
we'll check into it, but I
Okay.
think our solution is, one, we'll provide that report to Renee and she can let you know that these people are in need. I don't know why they wouldn't let us do it, I mean.
It's like when Erin was explaining to me, she as a nurse was helping somebody.
It's mostly their Premier Health that just turned into the IU Health.
I was on hold for a little bit.
Yeah, I actually took a client to the doctor's desk. Now, I didn't take all his med information. I had the box, I had the pill bottle that he needed. And they couldn't find him in the system, even though I gave him his name and stuff. But anyway, eventually they did. But,
You want some?
Yes,
I have a question about for the workshop. So does the box that, I'm assuming one of the boxes like what we get for our 2-week supply would come to the house and then we take it to the workshop? And when are our supplies going to arrive each time? Do we have like a 2-day window or a 3-day window?
I mean, so we're gonna be on a 2-week cycle.
Okay.
So I think we were talking about this, you and I, earlier today. So we'll be letting you know when it will start, so, because the first is on Thursday. So right now, they're actually still processing all our orders. They were in here yesterday helping get information. But I think probably for December, we'll know of a better exact timeline of when deliveries are going to be here at the office, and then to your homes. So if you picked up your meds at the office in the past, you will continue to pick them up at the office until otherwise notified.
but otherwise, like we got ours, it seems to be between 6 and 8 p.m.
And that's what we're
we're working on
Okay.
it.
working
Yeah.
on with their courier to
Sure.
get that worked out.
The route is.
Yeah, they always came on Fridays, it seemed like, so.
But you will have your Mars and meds before the first of the month.
Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, if we do have a question, we can feel free to call this number
Yes.
You call it,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
please.
and not
do.
feel like we're
Please do.
asking a stupid question.
No, no,
No, or made to feel like a dummy?
Yeah.
No.
no. We would prefer that you do call us.
Or being made like you're,
Incompetent.
well, no, making feel like you're asking somebody a stupid question and they feel like you're wasting their time all over the phone.
And as a matter of fact, if you call and you're not treated the way you want to be treated, any of us management want to know it. And trust me, I get phone calls where they've said they weren't very nice. And I apologize, we go back, I didn't say this in the first one, but I should tell you, we record our calls. So if we were nasty, we'll know it because we can hear that conversation. On the flip side, if you call and say, hey, I ordered this stat, I faxed it, and I called you, well, what time did you call? 3:45.
It's 3:55.
Yeah. We'll go back
Well, it's happened.
and listen to the voice recordings of the messages that were left and figure out when that happened. And unfortunately, there are some people that think they called, but they didn't.
That could be me.
So communication again is so key. Not that just we nurses and team managers are calling and developing a relationship. Everyone is a part of the team. So Andy, if you have a question about medication, a good resource would be who delivers your meds and would know a lot about them also would be the pharmacy and the pharmacist.
And we're gonna have it, like you said, that she's
Yes.
gonna have
Yes.
our
Yep,
contact so
so
that
it
we
has.
can even ask for a specific person.
Yes, yep, we have a customer service option.
Okay.
And then we have a medical records person, which some of you might want to get to know the medical records person. I always like to. We have a pharmacy person, the customer communication. What's the difference between the customer communication support person and a regular? This person does, what's this person do?
That's me.
That's you. Okay, you.
Your name on
Okay.
it?
Oh, it is,
Yeah, that's me.
okay.
So my role in the pharmacy is, what we do with all of our customers is we make quarterly visits with the management team. So if there's ever like a concern that you have or any kind of feedback you want to give, good or bad, and you let like Renee know or whoever else is going to be in the meeting, we as a pharmacy team, usually a couple of us will come and we'll meet with management. And that's part of my role, is I go out and see all the customers. So,
Yes, sir.
What's the physician's orders process, like the ones that come with the bar, the research?
We were just having that conversation.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, okay, so do we have a clarification on that, or should I hold off with the monthly stuff? Or?
Yeah.
yeah, let's hold off a
Okay.
minute, but yeah. Well, we can give them an idea, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure, yeah.
So we're going to clarify, we typically monthly need your physician's orders back. And that was something Williams Brothers said, by the 5th of the month, make sure you get the physician's orders reviewed and signed by a team member that they reviewed them. They're going to clarify for us if we're still going to do that monthly or if group home is just going to be the 90-day research.
Well, how would you make changes to your bar?
You can, if you would need to, you can still do that. So if you need to, certainly you can do that and send that to them. But if there's no need,
Right.
because I was always getting the impression Williams Brothers said it was for auditory purposes, for when they had an audit. But they're going to clarify.
Right.
Yeah, like waiver, you wouldn't have to have them
Right.
ever. But as far as group home, I think it's every 90 days.
Right.
I mean, that's
This is our
the regs.
research.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
That's
what
right,
we're
yeah.
thinking.
Right.
So,
But Williams Brothers said they needed them for their personal audit that happened.
So we're gonna verify with our
Yeah.
billing person, because she's the one that would know related to the audits. So we'll let Renee know and she can
So
share
knock
that
on
with
wood,
you.
I'm crossing my fingers because that'd be what? More paperwork we don't have to do. So I'm hoping.
Now, if you do have a change that you want to have changed, you can always put it on the copy of your physician order. So say this had all of its stuff on there, but you needed to change like a time. You can actually write it on there and just fax it to us.
Okay.
And it'll go to Steve, who's our medical record person. He'll be the one. Or if you wanted to call him, but then just make sure you sign it. Somebody needs to sign it so we know. But now if it's a new order, like a dose change or something like that, we have to have an order.
Right, you guys
But-
would send us an
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, anytime you have a change like that and you want us to update your MARs and your physician orders, just write it on there, fax it to us.
Right, but for right now, I mean, they'll clarify, but we definitely, for the group homes, are gonna still need the 90-day research sent to them, yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't know if I said it early on, maybe I did. Anything that happens on your end, as far as the customer's concerned, increase, decrease, I'm repeating myself, send it to us.
Mhm.
Because if we don't know, we can't.
Yeah. Especially the DC orders, because
Yeah.
if we don't have the DC order, we're still gonna keep filling it, it's still gonna be in your package. And if
you don't
you're not good about looking at your MAR, which you should be, when you're giving meds, you might be giving them something that was discontinued.
And that's us also prompting the doctors to remember to have them send the DC order officially e-scribed to the pharmacy, so.
Any other questions?
Are all the boxes that size?
This size, yes.
And
Well,
it
I-
work for your other group homes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. What are
Now-
you thinking?
Highland won't have one because they won't need
That's
one,
fine.
Yeah.
I'm
so.
just thinking, just topicals in general.
Well, here's the other thing. Two quick, I got 3 stories actually. One, we talk about that customer needs analysis thing. We had a meeting with one of our customers many years ago. He said, you know, when you drop off that tote, it's got all the punch cards in it. And they're all lined up like that. Looks great. You guys do a good job. But, you know, half of the time our staff forgets to take or misses a workshop med. So they're pulling these all out, right? And the nurse goes, don't you have these in a different color? And we sat there and looked at each other and went, I think we do. So we called the company that we get these from. Guess what? They make them in bright orange. So now when the tote shows up for that customer, because that's what they use this, anything that's orange goes to workshop. You can't miss it, right? Okay. The other thing I was going to tell you is, well, no, I can do that.
Okay, let me talk about like your bulk items. So say that you have a consumer that's like on the Miralax and they don't always take it and now you've got a lot. There is a form in here that you can fill out and put it on hold, okay? Make sure you fax it to us. You can put it on hold for a month, 2 months, or indefinitely. If you want it on hold indefinitely, just remember that once you start needing it again, to call us and let us know. And then the same with creams. The pharmacists are actually good about calculating how much to send based on the order, but a lot of times we don't know how big the area is that you're covering. So if you find that, like, if we only sent 1 tube, but you really need 2, let us know so that we can figure it out and work with insurance and all that kind of stuff to make sure we get you enough. Okay.
So speaking of boxes, the other story was that we had a customer that needed something custom. And I like to tinker and build stuff and fix things. And so I went to Menards and bought a Gladiator. It's a case that you can put in your garage that holds like stuff. And it's about this tall, about this wide. It was just perfect size for what they needed. And I bought a rivet gun, and I'm drilling holes in this thing, and I put a little swivel lock on it. I was so proud of myself because it was, you know, it's custom, right? I had to have my own reality show, custom cabinet making. But so if you need something different back in your wherever you're at, we can do that. Just again, let us know.
Because I think what PJ's saying, some of, you know, at the group homes, we have a lot of PRNs on
Yeah.
hand, a lot of topicals.
Yeah, maybe a second one for storage of stuff.
Yeah, we may need
Not
a
a
second
problem.
one that is, here's all the treatment. Here's your meds, here's your treatment.
Yeah,
box.
that could happen too.
Like 1 wheel, is that, so that we'll be getting rid of our bigger boxes, that'll be nice. 1 wheel like holds 2 weeks, is that it?
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Now again,
I mean, ours is 4 times a day, But like one pill might be at one of those times.
Yeah, so you may have two for two of these little things for
Yeah.
one person. It just depends on the amount of meds that they take.
Yeah.
So, because we don't want to get it to the point where, it's so packed that you can't close the thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the idea is for it to close and just, they just come out.
No, I
So
think,
and then we'll provide you with little labels that slide in here. And you can write their first initial last name or however you want to
sure,
do that. So,
maybe we could, we don't need to take many pictures of their faces, but that,
if you could do me a favor, when you get these, I don't know how to say this without being disrespectful. These are reusable, so they can go from one customer to another. We clean them.
okay.
So myself and another gentleman, we had some of these that were in storage, and I was going through, there's stickers of Dash, do you know Dash from The Incredibles? All over the thing. And to get that stuff off was next to impossible. So I would ask that don't sticker it up, just leave it.
Don't use Dash or use somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, you could use SpongeBob or whatever, just not Dash.
Okay.
But if you do need to mark on, and trust me, they use Sharpie on this too. And I found out yesterday, I didn't know this, that you could use hand sanitizer to get Sharpie off. That was awesome.
And
Oh,
hairspray.
Hairspray,
Soft
okay.
scrub with bleach.
Okay,
Does that have where
And
you?
going over the dryers.
yeah, you put a slide a name in it, right in the front, yep.
Well, I just was wondering, so we were trying to figure out, when we do have a med change, it's, the pharmacies usually have stickers that you would put med change CDMR. But I was just trying to see if there was a way to stick,
You could use a
not a
Post-it.
sticker, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
Post-it,
just,
yeah.
I was trying to see if there was something to slide.
Those little tabs. You order.
Or if you are gonna use
Yeah, but
tape,
if it's a sticker.
use
they
the
don't
thicker
want stuff
packing
on it.
tape, not scotch, that
I probably got some. in
that
there.
stuff, because it just doesn't come off. And I'm just being, picky because I was the
Sure.
one that had to clean them all. And that was hard. I tried baby oil, I had a knife, I was scraping.
Well, they have little bitty Post-it notes too, that you could just, not even
Yeah.
full size, just a small one. And they even make those in
Yeah.
like fluorescent colors so they can stand out.
I found WD-40.
Okay, it's 10 after. Well, there we go.
One more
Yes.
question. If they don't go to day program for the day or a holiday, do you pre-do your orders for the holiday to add extra for that day they won't be at workshop?
We can, we just need to know it. And you call and say, hey, this is Brenda and this person's, whatever it is, we'll make sure that they get taken care of. Now, if you got your 2 weeks and if Christmas is here and they're gonna be gone for the day, you just open the thing up and take out the days that they're gonna need, put them in an envelope or however you wanna do that, and that's what you would do.
The
But
workshop meds will already be at workshop though.
yeah, you could just let us know and we can pack them up or I guess the other option would be get them from workshop the day before.
In the past, we would just notify the pharmacy, hey, this person's gonna be.
Yeah, we could do that.
From whatever date to whatever date during the holidays.
Yeah,
That was-
But, yeah, if we do plan ahead, you could just get your little envelope back from
yeah,
the
from
workshop.
workshop, but
Yeah, but,
because where we have to be careful is you start having somebody spit them out or you drop them, you get too many, then insurance is gonna be like, we're not gonna pay for it, you're gonna have to pay out of pocket. And if it's not covered by insurance, it could be super cheap or it could be super expensive.
$47.23.
Okay, yeah, that.
No, that was, for,
Oh, the two.
Oh,
And Risperdal all had too.
yeah.
We didn't talk about over-the-counter meds. That's kind of a pain in the butt for most people, or did I?
No.
No.
Okay, so OTCs, a while back, we said, you know what, this OTC program is really causing a lot of brain power and pain for a lot of our customers because they can go to the store and pick up a bottle of 1,000 for, whatever. So we decided as a company to put out a low-cost OTC program where the main Most common OTCs for this setting are going to be $2.99 and less. So for example, only as an example, because I'm not a pharmacist and I don't have the list, melatonin, a 30-day supply would be $1. So now you don't have, you know, this, and, you know, your vials and your all over. We'll package the vitamins, the melatonins, the ivites, the calciums, whatever the OTC is, pill or tab, in here. If it's a routine. If it's routine. Okay?
So hopefully that will help, because we have had some people that the Tylenol was cheaper to get off the shelf than to get through the pharmacy.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it's, and again, it's probably not gonna, you're not comparing apples to apples. In other words, if I could go to Meijer and get, 365 aspirin, 80 milligram aspirin for $5, you know, we're gonna probably have it for 99 cents for 30. I mean, you're paying for a little bit for convenience, right? The fact that we're putting it in here, we're delivering it for no charge, you know, those types of things, so.
Any other questions?
What? No secrets. What'd you say? Ask him if he'll do what?
Have anything to do with customers.
Is that what you And you could be Jamie Lee Curtis's twin sister.
No, stop. No, don't even.
And I'll be that psycho.
Yes,
What's his name?
Michael.
I wasn't going that far. I like her hair. I think it's cute. Okay, any questions from the folks on the camera or on online?
And I put lotion on it.
I think I put them to sleep. All
You
right.
should have told them the story about the delivery.
Oh, I can do that real quick. So just as a departure funny thing, so our courier company is a separate entity. They're not our employees, it's just a company. We've been using them since the inception of Young at Heart. And a guy created Action Courier so that the people that worked at the Indianapolis Star had somewhere to work, because as technologies come about, people don't read newspapers much anymore. So they laid off a bunch of these veterans and, you know, people that have been there for a long time. Well, they still had their pensions, but they still wanted to work, right? They weren't, you know, old enough that they could fully retire. So these guys, mainly guys, we don't have any women, no, do our courier stuff, and they take total ownership of it and pride to get these meds to our customers. And they're actually another set of eyes and ears for our company, because they hear things and they bring it back to us, and that way we can kind of, you know, fix it before it becomes a huge issue. So anyway, they hired this young kid, and he was so excited to start working. Well, our policy when they deliver the meds is to call 20 minutes to 30 minutes before to make sure that they're home. Well, the kid forgot. And so he went to the door, he had his brown paper bag, and knocked on the door, and he's standing there, you know, waiting. It's a residential neighborhood, right? You know, typically that's how most of our group homes are. Standing there, waits a couple minutes and knocks again, nothing. And you got the door here and you got windows here, so he's kind of doing this, you know, knocking on the glass, nothing. It's like, well, they must be in an activity or something, they can't hear me, but I can't leave because they gotta have the meds. So he decides to walk around to the backyard, and he's kind of looking around, you know, because there's a big door in the back. All of a sudden he hears, "Get on the ground! Get on the ground!" And he drops to the ground and says, "I'm just the drug guy."
Which wasn't a good thing to say.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a huge joke with, I mean, I felt bad for the kid, because all the Action Courier Company guys, they're good old boys, right? And they just razzed him for a week. You know, they would call him up and say, "This is Sergeant Tribal," you know, and he'd hang up. But that's the type of dedication that those guys have. But I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, you know, he sprawled out, he literally had drugs in his thing. He had to explain to them.
Never
What
call
he was
yourself the drug
drug
guy.
Yeah, not the drug guy. Yeah, so thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it and look forward to servicing you soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't know.